Sometimes the most important teachings are the ones hiding in plain sight. Today, we're cracking open the Gheranda Samhita. It's this incredible, practical roadmap for a journey that starts with the physical body and ends in total consciousness. Okay, let's just jump right in. Most of us think of yoga as, a great way to get flexible, maybe find a little bit of calm in our crazy lives. But what if that's just scratching the surface? There's this 17th century text that lays out a much, much bigger goal. It's a step-by-step guide to enlightening the mind. But, and this is the key part, it says you have to start by completely mastering your body. And look, this is not some dense, philosophical text that's impossible to understand. The Gheranda Samhita is basically a how-to manual. It's written as a straight-up conversation between a master and his student. So how does this 7-step path stack up against the other big yoga texts we all know? Let's see. So many of you have probably heard of Patanjali's 8 limbs of yoga, right? It's kind of the gold standard. But check this out. Gheranda comes along and carves out his own unique path with 7 stages. He calls it Sapt Sadhana. And this different structure, well, it changes everything.
So, here's our game plan. We're literally going to follow the roadmap that the sage Gheranda laid out centuries ago. We'll explore each of these stages on the path to enlightenment.
We know Gheranda's path is different, but it's the philosophy behind it that's so revolutionary. And honestly, it all comes down to one single powerful metaphor. I want you to picture your body like an unbaked pot made of raw clay. It's kind of fragile, it's porous. If you poured water into it, it would just leak right out. But then you take that pot and you fire it in the intense heat of a kiln, the kiln of yogic practice. It becomes strong, solid, and ready to be filled with anything. This idea is called Ghat Shuddhi, the purification of the body vessel. And here is that journey, laid out so perfectly. You can see the logic, right? You start with the physical, the stuff you can actually feel, cleansing and strengthening. Then, step by step, you move inward to the more subtle stuff, all the way to the final goal, total liberation. All right, so how do you actually start firing this clay pot of the body? Gheranda is absolutely crystal clear on this. The very first thing you have to do before anything else is a radical, top-to-bottom cleanse. I mean, it just makes sense, doesn't it? You wouldn't build a beautiful house on a crumbling foundation. Gheranda says it's the same with yoga. You simply can't do the advanced practices if your body is full of impurities. You got to clear out all the physical and energetic junk first, so that powerful energy has a clear channel to flow through. And believe me, when Gheranda says cleanse, he is not kidding around. These 6 actions are the bedrock of his whole system, and they are intense. We are talking about everything from cleansing your digestive tract with a long piece of cloth to clearing your sinuses. It's a total internal reset to get the body ready for what's next. Okay, so once the pot is sparkling clean, it's time to make it strong and steady. This brings us to the next 2 limbs on our path, asana and mudra. Now get this. Gheranda says that there are 8.4 million yoga postures out there. I mean, that's just mind-boggling. But here's the good news. He says you only need to master 32 of them to get the job done. And these aren't just random poses. Each one is picked to build a body that's incredibly strong and healthy. So after you've built that strong foundation, you have to stabilize the energy inside. And this is where the Gheranda Samhita really stands out. Other texts might mention, a few mudras, these energetic seals, but Gheranda gives us a complete guide to 25 of them. It's basically a masterclass. All right, so let's pause. The body is pure, it's strong, it's stable. Now we're ready to turn our focus inward. The journey is about to get way more subtle as we dive into the world of the mind and the breath. And here's where Gheranda does something really interesting. He completely flips the classical order. He puts pratyahara, withdrawing the senses, before pranayama, controlling the breath. And when you stop and think about it, it makes total sense. How can you possibly control something as subtle as your breath if your mind is being yanked around by everything you see and hear? You have to quiet the outside world first. To even prepare for this inward journey, Gheranda gives us this super practical tool. Mitahara, or moderate eating. This isn't some crazy diet. It's a simple formula. Fill your stomach halfway with food, leave 1/4 for water, and leave the last quarter totally empty for air to move freely.
It's a simple but profound way to keep the body light and ready for the real work ahead. Now, for purifying the body's energy channels, he gives us this precise breathing ratio, 1 to 4 to 2. So if you inhale for a count of 1, you hold your breath for a count of 4, and you exhale for a count of 2. This specific rhythm is designed to build incredible energetic control and prepare the mind for deep, deep meditation. So let's recap. We've cleansed the body, we've strengthened it, we've stabilized our energy, we've calmed the senses. Now, we're ready for the grand finale. The last 2 limbs of Gheranda's path are going to take us all the way to the ultimate goal. See, Gheranda doesn't just say, okay, go meditate. He gives us a clear progression. It's like he gives you training wheels. First, you focus on something physical, something you can actually visualize, like a flower. Then you move to something more subtle, like meditating on an inner light. And finally, you arrive at the last stage, meditating on pure, formless consciousness itself. And this is the whole point. This is samadhi. It's that moment where the little you merges with the universal you. Remember that clay pot we've been working on this whole time? This is the moment it finally gets filled with the nectar of enlightenment. It's the ultimate homecoming. So what does all this mean? What's the big takeaway from the Gheranda Samhita? It completely reframes how we see our bodies. It asks us this question: is the body some kind of barrier holding you back from spiritual life? Or is it the gateway? According to Gheranda, the body isn't a present to be escaped. It is the very portal for our transcendence. And that is a truly revolutionary idea.